Welcome to part 3 of the Deep Space Nine space station build-up. I've made some progress that I wanted to share with you. We've obviously got the red bulb there for the power core. That's what that's starting to look like there. Again, as usual with these cameras, it is being overexposed. I'll give you a quick look at what that looks like in the dark. Okay, so that's pretty much what that's going to look like. Again, as I say, that's being overexposed quite a lot in the in the dark there, but that looks pretty much well bang on in person. I think what I might need to do is just diffuse the light slightly in there, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use at the moment, but I think the milk carton plastic is going to be a bit too thick really just for one bulb. So I'll just take a look at other things and see what I can come up with, and let you know what I use in the end on that one. Okay, the other one, the other part that I've done as well, as you can most probably remember, is the other section of the power core where we've got all the lights. Now I've got those drilled out, and that's what they're starting to look like. So they're looking pretty good. Okay, so I should quickly show you what they look like in the dark. Okay, so that's what they look like in the dark. Again, they are being slightly overexposed, but again in person they look just about right. So I'll get the lights back on again for you. Now, with this section, I've only used one LED in there, and that's just a 3 millimeter LED, and that's just countersunk into the top there, and that just lights up the whole of that section there, which is great. The only thing that I need to do on this section is just drill a couple of holes on either side of that to bring the wires up through for the power core light. The other thing that's been worked on is the promenade section, and that's starting to look pretty good. That's completely primed as well now, and the good thing about that is if I get my torch, you can see there that there's no light escaping apart from through that little hole there, which is for the command section, or sorry, the ops station should I say really. The only thing really that's left to do on this is on the inside is to get the light sources placed inside there. Now around the outer ring I will be using 3 strips of LED tape, and I will just be placing them in the sections there, and then just wiring them up that way. Within this section here, I'm most probably going to need to go back to the small LED bulbs. The reason being is that I will have lights all across these sections here, and there will be lights up across these parts here as well. And also if we look at the top section, there'll be lights running across these parts here too. And then we've also got these lights in here as well. I will also need to try and bring some light, if possible, up into the op section as well for the windows there. Not quite sure how I'm going to accomplish that yet, because it is such a tiny area. So I'll most probably be using one of the very small SMD'S on that. One of the other things that I will need to also look at before I seal this part up is the landing pads for the little runabouts, because I want to try and get those lit up as well. So there's quite a bit of work left to do on the top section of the habitat ring there. But what I also need to do at the same time is work on these small parts here. Now these, I'm not actually sure what they're called, but they are the little sections that basically fit in there. And on these, at the top and the bottom, we've got the blinking red lights, and then we've also got a full photon torpedo there, I do believe that is. That won't be lit up, but I do want to get those two sections lit up on all three parts. So I need to really start working on these and getting these light blocked and primered. The other thing that I will be working on as well at the same time is the op center. Now these are the parts for the op center. Well, there's two parts there. Can't really see them that well actually, and then these are the other two parts that I also need to work on. So that's going to be a little bit difficult, trying to bring a source of light in there for the windows that are in the op section, and there are some areas on this little part here, and I'm not sure whether you can really see them. Just about there, those little straight lines. That's little fine detail, so I need to try and bring that out a bit better as well. So I need to concentrate on those as well. So I'm going to start getting on with all of these bits as well at the same time. So I really want to try and get this together first before I spray it in the primary colour. It's going to be easier to do that on that side, and I can just cover up the power core section when I get to that part. So that's about it for the moment. I'll come back to you as soon as I've made some more progress on these little bits, but that should keep me entertained for a little while. So until then, please do take care. Richard back with you for a quick update. I've made some progress. I've got the light sources sorted out that I need. This is for the power core, and that's running off a 1K resistor. And that's now given me the type of light that I need. This one is for the light source in the lower section of the promenade, and that's this part here, and that's hooked up to a 470k resistor, and that's looking quite good too. And then I've also got the little SMD, which I do believe is the 0402. And that's hooked up to a 1K resistor, and that's given me just about the same kind of light as this one here. So that will fit into the op center. I'll show you that in a second. So this is the power core, as you remember. What I've done there is I've used the milk bottle carton on that, as this did diffuse the light the best for me. I did try also using the plastic folder dividers, but unfortunately that wasn't spreading the light around enough for me. So that's sorry, let me see if I can get that in shot without getting me my hands in. There you go. So that's what that's given me at the moment. So that's pretty good. Again, you've got a little bit of washout on the camera, but in person that's looking absolutely fantastic. So that's good. And then we've got this one here for the lower section, and as you can see there, that's coming out with some really good light. The middle part in there, I I've removed all of the paint so I can actually get the parts to glue together really nicely. And then this is the op center. Now I haven't actually painted that at the moment. That will be done last, but that will fit over the top like so, and as you can see that does wash out quite a bit, but by the time the primer's on there and then all the pinholes for the windows have been drilled out, that should reduce that quite nicely. I've also painted the bottom section of the op center there. I've got those two parts together, and then I've just given them the first coat of primer on this. There is still some work left on this. One of the biggest issues that I found with this kit so far is the fact that you can't see if there's any flashing on it, and that's because it's all clear, and it's only when you get the parts together and put the first layer of primer on there do you notice any flash. And as you can most probably see around the edges there is quite a bit of flash. So I just really now need to wait for the paint on this to dry properly before I can go ahead and remove that flashing. But this will sit on the top, it sits getting myself mixed up there, it sits on that part just there like so, and the light source will come through that hole there and then just sit on there, and then that will light that up. So that's looking pretty good so far. As I say, I just need to wait for this to dry properly before I can finish that off. So that's about where I am at the moment. I just need to now concentrate on getting the power core together, and as soon as I've done that I will come back to you guys with another update. Richard back with you for another quick update. We got some success now. As you can see, the lower half of the power core and the upper half have been mated together now, and all the lights are working, so it's looking good. You can see the glow coming through on the power core there at the bottom itself. It's still being washed out slightly by the camera, but that is the 1K resistor in there, and that does bring the light right down to the level that I wanted it, and it is virtually spot on, to be fair. And we've got all the tiny little windows on the bottom section of the promenade as well. Then we've got the power conduits in place as well now. So it's coming along. It's taken about 3 days to get to that point, which considering the size of the components isn't too bad actually. I just turned the light off for you so you can see what it looks like in a little bit of darkness. It's not too dark at the moment, but it does give you a good idea of what that's going to look like in full darkness. So I'm quite happy with the progress on that side of it, and at the moment, as you can see, if I tilt the camera upwards, it's just jury rigged into a 9-volt battery at the moment, just so you can get a look at what it's like at the moment. So what I do is I'm just going to set the bench back up again for the other bits that I've been working on, just so I can show you the progress on that. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I've been doing a little bit more work on the op center. Now this is part that sits underneath the op center and on top of the promenade. I've got a hole, I'm not sure whether you'll be able to pick it out on this camera at the moment, to be fair, but there's a hole drilled through the studs on both sides. It's gone straight through, and that is now just big enough to fit the 0402 SMD through there. That will then go through that hole at the bottom there and come out this hole at the top and sit in the center, and then this the top of the op center will then sit on the top, and I'll be able to get the windows drilled out. So that's what that's starting to look like at the moment. Unfortunately, I can't take that any further at the moment. The main reason being is that I will need to run the SMD through that hole there, and because I'm working on the resistor, or because there's a resistor attached to it, the resistor won't fit through that hole, so it will be in the middle there somewhere. And there is quite a bit of work that I need to do on this. I need to get the top coat applied to it, and I also need to start working on the shuttles for the model. So I've got a shuttle that's going to go in there, and then another one there, and then another one there most probably. And again with those, I need to, because I'm going to try and light those, I'm going to need to fix those on in position as well, so I can't really do anything to the op center until I've got those bits on. And the other thing that I also need to work on is the parts that fit into those as well. I'm going to need to really put the whole lot together, so I'm going to now need to turn my attention to this. So I'm going to carry on with that as it is for the moment, and as soon as I've got some progress on that, I'll come back to you. Until then, please do take care.